I work with two amazing ladies who help me out. To be honest, I'm not here as often as I feel like I should be, but how we started was actually, long story short, about 6 or 7 years ago. I was headed to a friend's housewarming, and I went to a flower shop back then called Trianon, and then I walked in, bought small little succulents and a plant to take to my friend's house, and then I took a picture with one of the ladies who was working at the flower shop at the time, and then 4 years later, which was about 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago here in Korea, um, my manager calls me. He's like, "Hey, do you remember a flower shop called Trianon?" I was like, "I don't recall ever going to a flower shop," because I didn't know that that was the name of the flower shop. And he said that one of his friends is the owner of the flower shop and she really wants to meet you. And then he sent me the copy of the picture that we took, and I realized, like, oh, I remember that flower shop. I went in there really quickly. It was like 5 minutes in and out. So I had a meeting with the lady, who at the time was just the owner of the flower shop, and she was actually about to close Trianon. And then she asked me if I was interested in doing like a collaboration project, like maybe making, I guess, a plant per se, and put it in a pot, make it look good, and call it the Brian Joo creation or something. And then I told her, I was like, what if we do something bigger and do something where you and I can both collaborate for a longer period instead of on just one project? And she said, actually, that's what I want to do, but I didn't want to burden you with something so big and overwhelm you. So the meeting went well, and after just a month of thinking about it and brainstorming, we opened up a small Brian and Trianon in Shinsa here in Korea. And it was at a friend's coffee shop. It was one of her friends, and it was in a corner, really small, and literally we only sold flowers. And surprisingly, that went so well that we needed a bigger space. So then we moved from Shinsa to Cheongdam, and in Cheongdam, the space that we had was really big. It was like almost like a suburban house in America. And we stayed there for almost a year. And after a year, we decided, how about instead of like staying at other people's, I guess, spaces that we're friends with, how about we get our own space and do a Brian and Trianon floral cafe instead of just a flower shop? Because I mean, I've been to the States, I've been to like Pasadena, California, and some place in New York as well, where I see a lot of cafes that had like flower shops within the cafe. And when I saw that, I was like, that's really what I kind of want to go for. And then basically, that's how we opened up here, and this is our spot since we've been open for a little bit over a year now. So to be able to, you know, make my dream of opening a flower cafe in less than, I guess, 2 years, because that was our time frame that we kind of estimated. Like, all right, we open up Floral Cafe, will probably open up in about 2 years or 3 years, but within 8 months to a year, we moved here, and now we have this amazing little shop that, you know, I feel like it's one of those mom and pop shops back in the States. It's not a huge franchise, but people who know about our shop can come in, grab a coffee or tea, and if you're on your way out, meeting your boyfriend or girlfriend, pick up some flowers on the way as well. To be honest, I feel like those kind of moments happen on a daily basis for me. I'm pretty sure it's that same way for any celebrity or any entertainer in any country, especially when you're in a random place that you don't expect people to know you, and they come up to you like, "Oh, you're Brian Joo." I'm like, "Yes." He's like, "I've been listening to your music since I was in high school. You've helped me get through some tough times." And those are the things, like, as a musician or an entertainer or anything in entertainment, to be able to entertain for somebody and make them happy, it's a great feeling. But it's even better when you've changed people's lives for the better. I actually had a girl, I'm not going to say any names, but somebody actually came up to me and told me that they're going through a tough time with family and money and finance and all that, and they were actually thinking about killing themselves. And when you hear stories like that, you're like, life is so precious. Life is short as it is. Why do you want to end your life already? And she told me that, you know, it was my music, just watching me on TV shows, seeing the goofy side of me, making her laugh all the time, gave her hope to try to, you know, I guess, stay positive and try to get all the negative energy out of her system and her life. And when you hear stories like that, you're like, all right, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. You know, I'm not God. You know, I'm not a higher power or anything. I'm just like everyone else. But when you have the chance to change someone's life for the better, and you hear it, and people come up to you, it's the most touching thing. And it's one of those things at that very moment you feel good, but when you get back at home, when no one's around you, late at night, you rethink about what you talked about with somebody who approaches you about that. And there's times where I teared up out of joy, you know, knowing that I could do that for somebody, to change someone's life. And I mean, for other entertainers and people in the business, I feel like they go through the same thing. I feel like it's not our job to do that, but to be able to do that, it's mind blowing. Oh my. Funny thing about that is I feel like a lot of my fans, especially the ones that have been there since day one, since '99, they feel that sometimes celebrities do too much instead of just focusing on one thing. But, you know, I guess for me, as a child, I've always wanted to do so much, you know, because life's so short. Why do you want to limit yourself and just do one thing? I know I started this business as a musician, but music isn't the only thing I've always wanted to accomplish in life. Music was a part of who I am. It's not all of who I am. Like in entertainment, like I really want to get into acting eventually. I've done musicals. I've done theater in high school. I've done musicals here in Korea. I've done cameos where there wasn't that much dialogue. And then, like you said, I have this flower shop and cafe. I also have a CrossFit gym here as well in Korea. And I also started a charity called Judo Project, where we actually, you know, do small bazaars and charity events, and we donate money to kids in Africa who are less fortunate, who are hungry, you know, going through difficult times, of course. So to be able to do all that, I surprise myself sometimes. I wake up a little overwhelmed. I'm like, all right, what do I got to do today? I have this, and this. But then, you know, I'm one of those people, if I take a break for too long, I'm really anxious and I get nervous. I'm like, oh no, if I'm not doing this, what's gonna happen to me, you know? So I'm one of those people, if I find something new to do, a new passion, a new hobby, I like pursuing it. And that's why, like, when I was a kid, I didn't think I liked flowers, but as an adult, I feel like as you get older, people tend to form new hobbies that they get interested in. Like, I never liked flowers as a kid. I mean, I like going outside and playing with my friends and sports and, you know, exploring, but who knew 20 years ago that I was gonna have a flower shop in Korea, of all places. Who knew I was gonna get into CrossFit and open up a CrossFit gym in Korea. And I guess pretty much I've done too many things. So yeah, to answer your question, I really want to get into acting. So if you're watching this, if there's any roles for any Asian American, or if there's any roles in other countries and you need me to learn a language, send me a language coach or whatever, and give me the script and I'll audition for it. I guess when I first started this entertainment thing, the obvious answer for me was like a romantic comedy and be like the goofy friend, not the main character, but the main character's best friend who always causes trouble. Or if I was the main character, you know, I forget the actress's name, but the movie Trainwreck, she's a little goofy. Actually, no, she's really goofy. She's a little, but I feel like I could pull that off. But at the same time, I feel like that's also the obvious character that people expect me to play, because Brian's goofy all the time on TV. He's on these variety shows. So on the flip side, total different character. I want to play a little bit more of a serious character where I could either be, I don't want to say a murderer because I don't want to kill anybody, but something more serious, something not normal for viewers to see Brian, you know, in. You know, Brian's always goofy. He's acting a fool. He's even on my YouTube stuff, you know, people see me just having a good time. So for me to be able to play a role where I'm just a serious, maybe something scary, maybe like a spy, I don't know. I guess those are the kind of characters I want to try auditioning for and getting, because then it kind of shows how diverse I could be in acting.